another?
Yeah, just leave the bottle, please.
Rough night tonight.
Come on! Jaden, do you know where you would be if I wasn't here to protect you? You would be dead like your mother. Your extended family business, it's complicated. We are close. Need to start paying.
Back out, old man.
I said back them! You are a dead man. The Russians, they took Jaden.
Why would they take Jaden?
It was a setup. I'm coming to save you.
A true vigilante.
You made it personal. What you saw today was just a taste. Where's the kid? Who are you? What the Remember now? I made a promise to your mother to protect you for the rest of my life.
Watch out!
Perfect.
Hi,
Kristanna,
John.
how you doing?
You?
I'm so excited to talk to you. My internet crapped out like 10 minutes ago and I was freaking out. I was texting everybody. I was like,
Oh,
they're doing construction next door and they're like totally like digging up and everything. So I was like, oh no, because I've really wanted to talk to you. I'm such a fan of yours. I can't tell you how.
cool.
Yeah. Um. Now obviously we're talking about Darkness of Man, which is the upcoming movie you star with Jean-Claude Van Damme. But I wanted to talk to you just for a couple minutes before we get into that. You like I remember when Gal Gadot did Wonder Woman, and she was saying how she was so instrumental with female-centric action films and stuff like that. But it's like people forget, like you were kicking ass with Schwarzenegger back in Terminator: Rise of the Machines. You were TX. You gave him a run for the money. So talk about being instrumental as a woman in action in cinema.
Well, thank you, first of all. And I see your Arnold in Commando there behind you. That's
Yeah.
awesome. For me, inspiration was like Sigourney Weaver and Alien, and just other strong females like Helen Mirren, that I really just thought were great in their craft and in their career. And of course, it was Robert Patrick really in T2 that inspired me. And I just was absolutely blown away by his performance. But, I didn't realize, I should say, that I was really, people had touted me when the film came out as this, strong, iconic figure and as, female empowerment and everything. And I didn't even really necessarily realize that when I was just creating the role. For me, it was an incredible job opportunity and role. And I just took it on and I just really focused on wanting to be the best that I could be. I did lots of in-depth training. And, in the end, as a byproduct, I guess being pitted against the male iconic figure of cinema history of, badassery himself, I realized like, wow, I did leave an impact in a way for women and girls to look up to, in a sense, to know like you can have that power and strength within yourself. And it comes from the inside out. I mean, really, for me, the training was integral in creating the role.
So it's funny you mentioned Robert Patrick because, like, again, his role is so iconic. But I think you gave him a run for his money with your performance, and it was such a juxtaposition, because like how I'm not gonna you look good doing it. I'm not gonna lie, So, but it's just
Thank
it's
you.
just I and I just remember seeing the movie for the first time, and I'm like, this lady has a future, you know, if she wants to do this. So I just wanted to tell you that.
Thank you. I so appreciate that. And here we are talking. That's awesome. That's awesome.
And I actually just saw recently this movie came out, but I saw Repeater just a little while ago. I mean, I know that you've done that movie, and you kicked a lot of ass in that movie too. So
True.
yeah. So I just wanted to tell you that I like that movie also. Now we're talking about Darkness of Man, which of course we were talking about Schwarzenegger. Now you star with another action icon, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Now I'm not gonna lie, Kristanna, I was a little disappointed when I first heard that you're gonna be in this movie. I was like, "Ooh, she's in a Van Damme movie," and then your role is it's an important role, but it's a non-physical role, and I was a little disappointed. I'm not gonna lie. So
Well, maybe in part two, I will have action to do. But yes, this is my character, Claire, is the softer side, shall we say, the more vulnerable side of supporting Van Damme in this role and in this story, and really nursing him back to health as she does in her job line as an in-home veterinarian, mobile vet, and really becomes this kind of family member in this pseudo family with Jaden, the teenage boy that he cares for and is entrusted with, and himself. And we all kind of help each other out through these troubled watered times, so to speak.
yeah, so like I talked to Kirk Sticky Fingers Jones just the other day, you know, who's also in the movie, and I was telling him how you and your character are, because because the movie, you know, Van Damme is on rough times. You know, at first, you know, he's a cop, but then of course things happen, and then he's on the down and outs. But you and him, Kirk, are your roles. You're like the moral compass for Van Damme's character of Russell Hatch. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, he on the side of the law and me on the side of the heart.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, Claire is really inspired. You know, she sees this wounded soul in Russell Hatch and is, you know, not only physically, but emotionally really compelled to care for him and nurse him back to health, because she sees the sadness in him, and also the opportunity that he would have to really pull through, and also really take care of this boy, you know, which is a real opportunity for him as well, to find that heart and depth and not be afraid of that side of himself, which I think he's been running from for years, and not wanting to get too close to people. So through that journey, they have this kind of beautiful love story,
Hmm.
and then ending up with Jaden in the end. So yeah, it's definitely the softer, more vulnerable side of the neo noir action thriller.
Exactly. And let's talk about Van Damme, such an iconic action star, like, you know, throughout the years and everything. So talk about like, because I want to, because like you were in the Name of the King with Jason Statham. That's when he was like just starting to become like the action star that we all know today. So that's another movie I love that you were in. That was like
Thank
the
you.
Lord of the. I actually like it better than some of the Lord of the Rings movies, but that's just
Great.
besides.
I'm so glad. You don't have to
And
say it
Blood
twice.
Rain too. Like you kicked ass in Blood Rain. I can't
Awesome.
like I
Thank
can't.
you.
I know you Bull has kind of been maligned as a filmmaker throughout the years, but I enjoy his movies and I enjoy your performances in his movies. And Blood Rain, I was disappointed that you weren't able to take your version of the character any farther than in the first film. So I just
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Attack on Darfur is another one I did with him that
yes.
I really enjoyed. If you haven't seen that one, that's a good one.
I have seen that. Yes, that yeah. But I always gravitate to Blood Rain and in the Name of the King. You
More
know,
of the
so
action. Yeah, that one's
yeah.
about genocide. It's heavy. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So, right now, let's talk about working with Van Damme. How was it working with JCVD? You know, like you know, being on set with them. I mean, because you did spend a lot of time with them, because you know you had a lot of scenes with them.
Yeah, he's a really wonderful man. I mean, he's really got a big heart. A heart of gold would be how I would describe him. He really works hard, and he's definitely a team player and really cares about doing the best that he can, and that's really nice to see. And he's got a great depth, he's got a great emotional life, and I found him to be very available and accessible as an actor, and that was really rewarding. And of course, I mean, you're right. We don't have any action together, but you know, he's in incredible shape, and you know, his action looks amazing.
So let's talk about James Colin Bressick, who directed the movie. Again, another guy who's been crushing it. I mean, he actually, I was going through his IMDb, and he's done a lot of horror in the past, but now he's like starting to get into the action. So talk about what he brings to the table as a director, like because you worked with a lot of directors, you know, throughout.
Yeah, James is awesome, and he's become a dear friend. I'm really impressed by him. You know, he's a younger filmmaker, and he's had an exceptional body of work already at his young age, and he thinks outside the box. And you mentioned Uwe Boll. I mean, they're totally different in style, but they
Mhm.
both think outside the box, and I really appreciate that because I think that's what makes films interesting.
Right now, like real quick, because like we're wrapping up here. So like now we mentioned that darkness. You mentioned it's a neo noir type of thriller. You know, it's really hardcore. It's. I actually liked how it's like devastating throughout, but it has such a positive ending. You know, I don't want to spoil anything, but I mean it does. And you had mentioned the sequel prospect as well as Sticky also did. So that was kind of a neat. So because he said yeah they're working on one. Is that true?
It could potentially be, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're definitely talking about it. So yeah, they've set it up so that that maybe could happen.
So talk about what you want. I mean, I know this is a cliche question, but again, it's what everybody like. What do you want the fans to get out of this style of a Van Damme movie, as well as yourself in the film? What do you want people to get out of after watching it?
Well, what I really liked about this one, and you know, I try to bring with every character that I play as much as I possibly can to my role. And of course, if I'm producing it, then it's wearing other hats as well. But um, I would like them to walk away feeling that they got more than just an action movie. You know, there's an emotional life to it. There's a journey that these characters all go on, and that in some way, you know, we've all have flaws in our day-to-day life, and I think it's important to be able to relate to these characters. And you see human flaws. These are people that are really, yeah, they're in intense, extreme situations, but they're really just trying to make the best out of it, and that's how they come together.
Well, yeah, say like I mentioned how I was disappointed. I was just saying that, like, you know, because watching your performance, I was like, you gave like I was kind of glad like of your performance, you know, because like you know it because it was such an important integral part to it, and I know your fans are going to really gravitate towards your character because she's just somebody that you know you want to know and then like be friends with because she's
That's
such a
great.
yeah. And
Because I'd help you out.
what's that?
Because I'd help you out.
Yeah, that's right. Real quick before I let you go, I just want to tell you that I think it's time for you to headline a next big action epic. And like we all know, you were the badass, but a bad guy in Terminator. But I think I want you like in the lead, like you know, double guns blazing, you know, taking some bad guys out. And I think it's time that your fans get that out of you.
Thank you. And you know, it's funny you should say that because I had that thought the other day.
Oh, okay.
And literally after I had that thought of like, I think, you know, I'm just tired. Yeah, I'd like to do another action movie. Something kind of came around. So I'm not going to make any announcements yet, but let's just say it's in the works.
Awesome. Well, hopefully in the future, when it becomes to fruition, I will be able to talk to you again and have you visit actionflix.com again. I appreciate you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk to me and the fans. And May 21st, Darkness of Man, they're going to love it. It's got Van Damme kicking ass. It's got you with, again, that's the price. That's worth the price of admission alone, Chris. I'm not going to lie.
Thank you so much. I
So
appreciate that.
good luck with everything you do. And again, I hope to talk to you in the future and you have a wonderful rest of the day and with all the interviews that I'm sure you're doing for the movie.
Thank you so much. You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.